What's up, Scream friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at how different plastics affect the flight of a disc. Thanks to my friends over at Wolfcat Disc, they sent me 3 different plastics of the same mold, the Innova Beast. We have it in DX, G-Star, and of course, Champion. I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. We just got over 300 subscribers on YouTube, and you guys have been doing an amazing job spreading the love with likes and comments. But guess what? There's still a ton of you that aren't subscribed, so let's play a little game here quickly. Heads and tails. You pick whether it's heads or tails. I'm going to flip it, and if you guess correctly, you don't have to subscribe. If you guess it wrong, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and help support this channel. All right, here we go. Tails it is. Okay, remember, if you guess tails, you're safe. If you guess heads, give that like button a smack and also subscribe. Great, let's get into the video. We wanted to check out different plastic types and how they affect the stability of a disc. Now you're probably wondering, why is there so many different types of plastic? Well, there's a few reasons behind that, but the first one is price point. You can have baseline plastics that are a little bit more affordable, then you can have premium discs that are going to cost a little bit more. Now, the other thing too is there's different wear and durabilities of these plastics. So the DX plastic, the baseline plastic, might beat in a lot faster than the premium discs. You also have just different weather conditions and different grip. The baseline plastic has a ton of grip, so it's great for things like being in the rain or even some colder temperatures, but it's still pretty stiff. The G-Star plastic is great for colder temperatures because it's nice and soft, so as it gets colder, this will stiffen up. Champion plastic is great because of just how durable it is. It still has good grip as well too. And in extremely hot conditions, because it's usually pretty stiff, this stays nice and stiff even in those hot conditions. Thanks again to Wildcat Disc for sending me these awesome discs. You should check them out. They have some incredible products on their page, including the Form Shadow. Form Shadow is this awesome new innovative way to take a look at your form and you can track your progress through. But it's also a fun little artistic thing that you can hang on your wall. You may have heard Champion is more overstable, Halo Star is more torque resistant, but has anyone ever done any tests on this? My theory is that if the disc were all the same shape in the sense of height, parting line, and weight, the different plastics would have very minimal effects on the flight characteristics, mainly due just to some physical properties and how air would move over the different types of plastics, but we're not getting that nerdy yet. However, what you hear all the time is Champion is the most stable, Halo Star is super torque resistant, but I don't really know where that's coming from. Now, different plastics are obviously going to have different properties with things like melting points, cooling temperatures, shrinking when cooling. All these different things would affect the flight of the disc because it'll change the actual dimensions of the disc. For instance, we've got 3 different parting lines here with 3 different discs that are all about the same weight, 172 to 173, but just different plastics. And you can see a major difference in these different parting lines. I'll zoom in here shortly. But as you can see right off the rip, the Champion one has the highest parting line. So I'm going to assume that this one flies the most overstable, with G-Star and DX being fairly similar to each other. Now, the other thing that we should mention too is that discs might change their flight over time. This is a process called seasoning, and I'll bring it up in another video. As you season in a disc, or as you play with it, it hits trees and the ground and things like that, the parting line might shift as well too. Typically, discs will increase and glide and lose some of that overstability over time. Let's get out into the field and check out how these discs fly. The DX Beast flips up, turns over, and continues panning on that turnover until it hits the ground at the end of its flight. The G-Star Beast flips up, goes straight with late turn at the end of its flight, and then coming back online at the end. The Champion Beast, however, goes straight with subtle turn before fading pretty aggressively at the end of its flight. So, case closed, right? My prediction was correct. The Champion Beast was the most overstable and the DX Beast was the least understable. And that's typically what we would expect. But I think there's more to it than just that. I honestly believe that because of the higher parting line height in the Champion disc, I think it had more to do with the overstability than anything else, not necessarily the plastic itself. However, if Champion plastics typically cool with a higher parting line, then maybe they are more overstable. I think we need to dive in a bit more and check this out in some other modes, so stay tuned and we'll see if this continues on. Another shout out to Wolfcat Discs. Thank you so much for sending me these discs. And stay tuned, as I will have a form shadow video coming out in the near future as well. I want to give you an idea of kind of what's involved, how you can use it in your training, and I'll also dive into a form review I got done by Silas Schultz. Let me know in the comments below. Do you find that DX discs are usually more understable than the Champion ones? I want to find out what the general consensus says. Lots of new content coming out daily, so make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and as always, get out and throw.